One of the things I love about academic theater is we are given a lot of freedom to explore and to try things that we often don't have time for in professional theater. So working with student actors, they're yes, they're there to work, but they're also here to learn. And so getting to go through that exploratory process together, and because our rehearsal process is longer, we're given the opportunity to explore together, is a really wonderful exercise in that, and I think one of those valuable first steps of an artist, which is just that curiosity that we bring to the art. A lot of times I feel like we lose that a little bit in the professional world because it's all about just get the show open, get on to the next project. So it's a real joy working with students because we get the opportunity to take our time, try things out. We get to ask the big what if, and we have the time to explore that together. When we decided that we were going to be doing Our Town, and I knew that I didn't want it to just be the same Our Town that we had done over and over and over again, the things that we have seen. And Our Town is a classic for a reason. It's a quintessentially American story. And if it's going to be a quintessentially American story, we wanted to tap into what are the things that makes it an American story? What is something that makes it resonate like it has for so long? And so as we went back to the text, we were looking at this story of this fictional place, these fictional people, but that feel familiar to us even though they're almost a century removed as of the writing of the text. And so we really wanted to zero in on, like, why is this relevant today? What is the purpose of us putting this on today? We wanted to bring and be able to answer that question for our audience as well. Why should they come see this? And the thing that we were particularly interested in is telling the story of Our Town, Oklahoma, Our Town, Oklahoma City University. And if we're gonna be telling the story from the perspective of this location, it's the people that are here that makes that important, makes that relevant. And so we looked around and said, well, we should start with the wonderful diversity of voices, so it's not just one perspective, one people group that's telling the story, it's everybody. And with that, we've gotten to tell these stories of where Our Town is a story of people going about their lives, having just a day-to-day experiences. And we've had wonderful conversations in the rehearsal process where actors are saying, you know, they're embodying and acting out just the act of like getting breakfast ready in the morning. But for these actors, having them bring that lived experience of like, well, what did breakfast mean for your family, and what were the foods that you associate with home? What is the dynamic that you had with your mom, with your dad, with your siblings, and allowing them to bring that lived experience to it, I think, brings it to a place where it resonates personally and it means something to those on stage. And if it means something to us on stage, I think it's easier to then connect to the audience and bring it to them in a way that it will mean something to them as well.
It is a lot of back and forth kind of question and response. Like for this show, there's not a whole lot of really specialized lighting effects. There's going to be some hanging practicals and a wireless ghost light, which is the most complex issues. So for those, we are very one-on-one communication. This is what I expect. This is what scenic needs. This is how I think you should do it. Like if you're struggling with it, or if they have a question where it's like, hey, we can't do this, we need to pivot, and I kind of help guide them. But for the more like standard lighting arrangements, it's kind of streamlined, at least our process here at the school, where I send out the plot to the production electricians, and then they come back with any questions they might have. And I might send out 1 or 2 small updates, but other than that, it's kind of a hands-off for the designer. Probably learning how to speak in a design meeting, especially one of this scale. As I mentioned earlier, this is kind of a lot bigger than I've been used to. And luckily though, my mentor Annalise, she's been very big in our lighting design classes on teaching us how to confidently speak in a room, and to directors specifically, And I feel like that has really helped a lot on this process.
Foley is basically just like any sound effect, you try to replicate it with like live objects. So for like the horse hooves in the dirt, we have a dirt pit, and then we have some coconuts that we created to make kind of the metal hooving sounds, and then we also have some cups. It's basically just replicating a sound with like live objects. Basically, I just like searched up, did some research of like how to replicate those sounds with objects, and then we just went to the tin bug and pulled them.
I think it's been really informative, and I feel like I'm learning a lot of skills that can apply to future jobs and that sort of thing. And I feel like I'm really enjoying the whole process as well, and I am feeling a lot more certain in my choice to do costumes. And I would say also like having actual experience really helps to match with what you're learning, because like hearing something and learning it is one thing, but actually like being in that space and sort of like figuring it out as you go is also really important. So
Okay, yeah, so it's actually very base level, like when it comes to scenic design majors, especially because there are so few of us, it's not as competitive. And this process kind of goes for a lot of the DMP emphases, but the way that it goes for scenic specifically is your freshman year, you will assistant prop and assistant scenic design a show, and then your sophomore year, you will prop your own show. I propped a play and a musical that year, so that's kind of the progression you go for. You prop a play and a musical, and then my junior year, I designed a play. I did 2 plays that year in the Berg, and then this year I'm doing another Berg play, and then I did my main stage musical, which is White Christmas, and it's just kind of a natural trajectory. My sophomore year I did a scenic design for the Children's Theater also. So it's just kind of the obvious stepping stones to getting to do a main stage musical. I took a lighting class with Annalise, just because they make you take, as a DMP major, they make you take every area as emphases and then like a little bit more sometimes. So I've taken 2 lighting classes. One was like the lab, like hands-on lighting, and then the other one was design. So I took design with Annalise, and she put a very different like way of thinking when it comes to design in my head that is more abstract about like how you approach, especially how you approach like themes visually, which is a very interesting thing to take away from a lighting design class, but that class specifically for this show made it very easy for me to kind of visualize the abstractness that we wanted in this show that still conveys the theme of community and family and growth and time that we have without being like in your face of like clock on the wall and here's a map of your town. Like we don't want like obvious in your face stuff. So her class kind of really helped me think about how to approach that theme.
I guess we've been trying to think about sort of the 2 different worlds we've got going on. We've got the world that the characters are in, like the world of Gerber's Corners, and then we've got the sort of the world of the theater. And so trying to kind of balance those out and make them complement each other, but not live in entirely the same world. So that's why, for example, the stage manager has a few things that are a little more modern, like they have like the actual program for the show, and in their costuming they're a little bit more modern, whereas the rest of the characters, things kind of live a little bit more in the past. So kind of making sure that they balance each other out a little bit, but they're still different. It's been really great getting to work with like a variety of other artists and designers, both other students and also like professionals and faculty. It's been really cool seeing how everyone else approaches the design process. So really, I think the main advantage of OCU is that you get to work with so many different people and learn from the people around you. And we have a lot of really great staff members also who are available to help and support.
This process has been unique because partly because with the time that we've been able to explore things that we don't often have time to explore. A big part of that is we're incorporating some unique design elements into the show. Our town is famously very minimal in its design. Famously, it has almost no set. It has almost no props. The actors are out there miming handling props and moving through a set, but it's actually this bare space. And we have some very unique design elements that our wonderful design team is bringing to it that I think is going to give this its own unique voice. But as we're looking at that and wanting to maintain this sense of minimalism where the audience could imagine this house looking like any house that they're familiar with, they can put themselves into it. Because the show is not about the concrete, it's about the experiential, it's about the things it's almost like a memory, things that we remember. One of the things that struck us early on in the design process was the relationship that we have with sound and how that sticks in our memory and how it influences our memory. And so we've been able to play a lot with Foley sound, the use of the use of creating live sound effects that are motivated by actors in the space, either live in the space as they're acting or just off stage but being projected on stage as actors are miming things out. You're hearing the clinking of plates, and you're hearing the clop of hooves, and you're hearing the crickets chirping in the middle of the night. So we've had the time to be able to explore that and let the actors have a sense of ownership of how they're bringing this world to life.
For one, it's definitely at a scale that I've not worked with before. Being with a full scenic design or a fully staffed design team has been very different from all my other shows at OCU. They've been kind of on the smaller side. And also just it's an amazing team.
I would say the unique aspect of it is the more abstract part of the play. The way that Chris Cuss is choosing to direct it, and even how Sid designed the set is very abstract. Like just with having some of the sound effects being hung, I've never had that in a show before, or like ever had to think about hanging some of the Foley objects and having someone be able to like work the deck rail to make those sound effects.
Oh my gosh, it's been unique from others in the sense that I opened the script and it said, there is no set. There are no props. And I was like, oh my God, that's all I do is the set and the props. What am I supposed to do? So, our town has always been kind of a show that scenic designers don't like to do because it is so variant on it varies heavily on what directors want for the show. Because some directors really are just like, yeah, we want a cube and some ladders, and that's literally it. And yes, I can make some cubes and some ladders look a certain way, but getting into the meeting with Chris, he's very much like, we don't want full scenery concepts, but we still want stuff there. And I was like, okay, that's very unique. Every other show that I've worked on has had a very specific setting to it. But Chris was like, we don't want any specific location. We don't want any particular indicators of where we are. We kind of want to give Oklahoma, but we also want it to be very open for everybody to interpret that our town is their town and their town is our town. It's very, so, approaching this concept was so fun because it was literally, I've never done something so abstract before.
This is the second show that I've done props for. And I guess it's kind of unique in that the last one, I was a little bit less involved in like sort of designing and the creative aspect. It was more just sourcing things. So for our town, it's been a little bit more like coming up with ways to use props to create the world of the show a little bit more, like with things like the ghost light that kind of bridge the gap between our sort of theater literal world and the world that the characters are living in, and how that can interact with things like scenery and lighting.
This is a play that I think ultimately is about community. And if it's about, and what is community if not a group of people coming together to take care of one another and to care about one another?
I hope
that this production will mean
it is going to be a way to both like bring people together and see like this is the kind of great art we can really create when we put our minds to it.
That it brings community and sort of, I hope that everyone who watches it can see like a part of themselves, maybe their family or history or whatever.
I hope this production will spark something in the OCU community about like our companionships and our community as a whole. I kind of hope that it, helps our student body to kind of come together more.
And that's what we see here. We have these instances where it's families looking out for one another, but also families looking out for the other families in the community.
It's about, community and connection. And so I think it's just nice to see a story about people living their lives, because we're all people living our lives. So I hope people watch it and they're just, they're made happy by it, or maybe they're made a little bit sad by it.
Very tight-knit group of individuals who respects each other and where we're from and our backgrounds and what everybody brings to the table individually.
I don't know. I hope people watch it and they appreciate the world that we live in and the fact that we're on this planet a little bit more.
People identifying people who are in need in their community and just expressing concerns, asking the question, what can we do to help? And even when they don't necessarily have the answer, still making that effort to, even if it's something as much as just saying, can I walk a ways with you? Can I share in this burden? Can I share in this time with you? And I think particularly now, at a time when things feel incredibly difficult, there's a lot of political upheaval, there's a lot of fear about what the world might hold for us. I think one of the most important things we can do is hold to those things that keep us strong and make all of this worth it, and that is the community, the people around us, the people that we love and care about, the people that we want to make sure are going to be taken care of, and so that they can thrive, and so as a community we can move forward together. I think it's a very common sentiment that all art is political, and when you read Our Town, it doesn't feel like it has an overt political message, but there still is that inherent politics of these are human beings who have come together in a community that aren't just looking out for themselves, they're looking out for one another. And I think that is the message that we want to carry to the community and inspire in others as we also practice this act of empathy within ourselves.
Oh, Earth! You're too wonderful for anyone to ever realize you.